Am I the fool for telling my sister she needs to get her daughter some help and she can't keep ignoring the problem? My sister was a single mom to Ava, 9 female, before she got married last year. It was just the two of them before my sister met Nick and moved in with him and his kids. Now it's Nick, my sister, Nick's 3 kids who are pre-teens or teenagers, and Ava. Ava never met her dad. Ava's always had social problems. This isn't even the first time I raised my concerns to my sister about Ava. But now that it's no longer the two of them, it is presenting itself far more and is causing far more issues than before. These social problems are generally around how she talks to people. She tells them what she likes, because her own brain says her interests are best and everyone else is supposed to like them because other things are dumb. She gets angry when this is challenged or ignored by others. To the point she will yell at them. But then she can't figure out why they get mad right back at her. And I do believe her that she doesn't understand. It both upsets and confuses her. She can't understand kids in school bullying her and the fact that she can never keep a friend. She also invites herself into games uninvited and then gets upset/mad when plans are kept that were not planned with her. Like playing with the neighborhood kids and getting upset they want to the park, which they planned to do already, because the park is awful and she hates it. She became inconsolable when that happened. There are times I have attempted to explain to Ava why people don't want to do what she does, and she looked at me like I was crazy and went into very detailed descriptions of why her interests are the best and why everyone should love them. She has been like this with Nick's kids, and my sister and Nick see themselves as a family, so treat it like, oh, they have to get along in some ways. But it's clear Nick's kids do not like Ava, and they have made it perfectly clear she is not family in their eyes. They are ice cold to her and angry around her most of the time. Then it bubbles over like a couple of days ago when Ava turned off their console because she decided they would all play together and not video games. This resulted in the oldest yelling and cursing at Ava, calling her names, saying everyone hates her and she's such a burden to have around and they wish they could send her away forever and never see her again. Ava had a huge meltdown and was screaming she didn't understand. My sister said this went on for hours. It freaked her and Nick out, but it still didn't give her the encouragement to seek help for Ava. All that came from that was Nick's kids were punished. This is where I came in and told my sister she needs to get Ava help and she can't keep ignoring the problems Ava has. I told her Ava deserves help because she doesn't seem capable of grasping everything and there is very possibly a valid reason for that and maybe it needs to be explained a certain way. My sister didn't take too kindly to me interfering and told me I was overstepping. Am I the fool? Aita for refusing to go back to my originally assigned seat on the plane? Throwaway. English is not my main language, apologies for the mistakes. I, 31 female, was traveling today with my 19-month-old son on a plane on a 3-hour flight. My son, being under 2, has to sit on my lap. I also had a big backpack with all the necessities that I keep on the floor and easily accessible. It can get crowded fast, but it's just how it is when you travel alone with a young child. I got assigned a random seat, 12C, at check-in, and ended up being in a row with no other empty seat. Although I appreciate it when there is an empty seat next to me as it greatly improves our flight experience, it's not an expectation I have and I never ask for it at checkup. Once the boarding was completed but before takeoff, a flight attendant came to me and offered to move us 3 row up, 9C, because there were 2 seats available, and that they usually try to accommodate people with young infants. I was delighted and accepted right away. The flight attendant helped me move my things and explained the situation to the other passenger on row 9. The passenger did not appreciate it at all. She started complaining to the flight attendant that she was planning to sleep on the flight, and that it would be impossible now. That she specifically chose this seat while checking online because the row was empty and it's gonna be a nightmare now. The flight attendant simply explained that both my seats, old and new, are standard, that the woman only paid for her own seat and that their policy is trying to accommodate young parents if possible. The woman then told me that I should be ashamed to impose all this noise on people that are just trying to enjoy their flight. Especially since it wasn't even my seat and I didn't even pay for it. Honestly, I'm really not good with confrontation. I usually end up either crying or apologizing, so I just ignored her all the way, as if she didn't speak at all. That got her even more angry, but she finally stopped complaining after a while. My son ended up crying only once. I got some stinky eye and some other rude comments, but all in all, the flight was way more comfortable for us this way, so I don't really regret switching seats. But I do wonder if I'm the AH. It's true that I didn't pay for that seat, and that it wasn't my originally assigned seat. Am I the fool here? Edit to address some recurring themes. The bag can fit under the seat. It was there during takeoff and landing. It was on the floor the rest of the time for easy access. I was allowed to do that the same way other passengers are allowed put their laptops. My son was on my lap the whole flight. As per the flight attendant demand, the extra seat was just extra space to feel less crowded and not bump elbows. I'm overweight, yes, but not extremely so. I'm from Europe, my son has to be in my lap. The flight attendant insisted on it when she offered me to switch seats. We aren't allowed to bring car seats with us, they go with luggage. I can't afford to buy an extra seat just to have more space, as my son isn't allowed to sit there yet.
Am I the fool for supporting my friend in his divorce with his wife? I, 35 male, am married to 34 female. I also have a friend, 36 male, who we'll call Mark, and he is soon to be unmarried to his wife, 34 female. The reason why Mark and his wife are divorcing is because, according to Mark, she has let herself go. He has said she has gained a lot of weight. I have noticed that, but like I didn't really care. She stopped going to the gym, starting smoking, cut off her hair due to not caring to take care of it anymore, etc. When I told my wife of this, she just made a face and said that it was trashy of him to leave his wife in what may be hard times in her life. I understand that, but like, my friend said that he had tried therapy for her, marriage counseling, and antidepressants. She was actually diagnosed depressed, but she didn't really seem to want to help herself. Honestly, I can get behind that. But my wife's mood always shifts whenever I bring him up now, and doesn't like the fact that I'm helping him through the divorce. It's taking a toll on both of them equally. Been a back and forth type thing for a while, and I'm coming to this sub to seek judgment on whether I am wrong or not here. Am I the fool?
Am I the fool for walking out of the bridal salon when I found out my friends were making fun of me behind my back? I have two friends, Gabby and Shelly. All of us are 23, if that matters. We were roommates in college and stayed in the same city after graduation. While the three of us are close, I've always known that Gabby and Shelly are the closest. They have a really sweet friendship. Shelly is getting married. Gabby is the maid of honor, and I'm one of the bridesmaids. Over the weekend, I went with Shelly so she could look at wedding dresses. Gabby was supposed to come with us, but got called into work last minute. I helped Shelly pick out some dresses, then she went with the consultant to try them on. Shelly asked that I take pictures and videos on her phone to send to her mom and Gabby. I was getting the camera ready when a text from Gabby came through. I didn't mean to click on it and was instantly going to click back out when I saw one of my Instagram pictures in their private chat from earlier that morning. Both were making fun of me for the face I was making and my outfit choice. It didn't appear to be very good nature. I admit, curiosity got the best of me, so I searched my name in the chat. I found multiple pictures that I, my boyfriend or my mom have posted of myself, absolutely ripping them to shreds. Ranging from selfies, to posed shots, to even a few baby pictures. They'd also make fun of me in general, in terms of the way I talked, wore my hair, and the way I ate. This went back as far as I could tell, at least a year. My heart broke. It all felt so juvenile and high school. While we all joke around, I would never do this to them, nor have they ever even tried to instigate these types of conversations with me about the other one-on-one. I was in tears. As someone who was bullied all through middle and high school, it just brought me back to a horrible place. I put the phone in Shelly's purse and brought it to another employee, telling her to tell Shelly that I had to go. I drove home and had a long cry. Shelly texted me by the time I made it home asking where I went. I said I was going home and we could talk later. When she did call a few hours later, she was understandably confused and hurt that I left. I told her what I found, explaining that I only looked further because of the initial text I accidentally saw. She went off on me for looking through her private texts and said those were none of my business. She also told me I shouldn't have left the store without saying anything. I said I didn't want to make a scene but also knew I couldn't fake being happy for her. Shelley told me the texts were all in good fun and clearly she loves me because I'm going to be her bridesmaid. She added that I'm only hurt because I chose to read all those texts. Later on, Gabby called to tell me that I invaded Shelley's privacy and hurt her by walking out. My boyfriend and mom think I did the right thing by walking out. But obviously, they're a little biased. I just want some unbiased looks. Was I an asshole to look through the texts and then leave? Am I the fool if I don't attend a wedding as a +1 because I didn't get my own invite? I, 25, female, am really close with my cousin 26, male, and over the past 2 years I've gotten close with the people in his friend group. I've attended a lot of parties they've thrown, including birthday, Christmas, and Halloween, as well as casual hangouts on a Friday night. I've also invited them to my birthday party. I'm in their group chat as well. I felt like I was good friends with all of them, especially the girls. One girl, let's call her Kelly, is engaged to a guy in the group, let's call him Ken. Kelly and Ken invited me to their engagement party about a year ago, to which I brought a gift and had a grand old time with them and all their friends and family. About 3 months ago, my cousin came over to hang out and he said, "You didn't get an invite to the wedding, huh?" And I said no, I didn't. He then told me that Kelly and Ken really want me to come but I must come as someone's +1, and I had to pick which one of the guys in the group to be my date. This caught me off guard as I honestly found it tacky. If they want me there, why wouldn't they just send an invite? Also, if you don't have space to host me, which I understand, don't try to set up a complicated workaround to have me there. I just found it distasteful, but I was uncomfortable, so I chose one of his friends. 3 months later, I still hadn't been invited to the wedding by that friend, so I figured he had found another date. Didn't really bother me, because the whole situation made me kind of feel icky. Well, he texted me today asking me to be his date. I told him I'd let him know because I might have work. After all, I didn't get a save the date or an invite, so I didn't have the chance to request work off. He told me the RSVP date is in 2 days. I also found this sort of tacky. Why invite me so last minute? He said that Kelly and Ken told him they really want me there. I thought we were all close enough friends that I would just get an invite. After all, I was invited to the engagement party, to Kelly's birthday party, to Ken's birthday party, and they came to my birthday as well. I honestly thought we were all good friends, but now I'm thinking we aren't as good of friends as I thought, or even friends at all. This whole no invitation +1 situation makes me uncomfortable. Would I be the fool if I don't attend the wedding because I'm uncomfortable with this? Or maybe I'm being overly sensitive. I'd appreciate advice from an outside perspective.